Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. My name is Faith if you're new, and today we're going to be talking about length retention tips. Okay, I want to tell you guys like the facts so you guys can know what you're doing and the reason behind certain things, and just demystify the idea of hair growth and length retention. I have 7 tips for you guys. All of them are important, so please watch through. Even like number 7 changed my hair game, hair growth game, and hair thickness game, so stay tuned till the end. Okay, so first, before I get into it, you guys need to know the difference between hair growth and length retention. Hair growth is the ability to grow your hair out of your scalp. Anything that stimulates your scalp can help with hair growth, like scalp massages, putting stimulating things on your scalp such as peppermint, rosemary, things like that. Cleaning your scalp on a regular basis, that'll all help with hair growth, and those are just a few examples. But most people don't actually have an issue with growing their hair, but rather length retention. Take care of your hair that's already on your head and keep it there. That's why, you know, you guys need a touch up with like relaxers or with color, redo hairstyles because you're having new growth out of your scalp, but hair is still breaking off from the ends if you're not taking care of it, hence why you don't see your actual hair growing. So the 7 tips I'm going to give you guys today is how to really take care of the hair on your head and your ends so you guys don't experience that breakage. The first tip that I have for length retention is to keep your hair moisturized. If you don't have a moisturizing routine and kind of consistent schedule, and you're just moisturizing just a little here, a little there after a week or 2, then that can cause chronic dryness. If you have a plant and you're barely watering it or very sporadically and you don't have a routine, it's just gonna be falling limp and just coming back to life, falling limp and coming back to life. That'll kind of ruin your plant over time, and it'll always be thirsty, so by the time you do water it, it's like already dry again because you're just quenching its thirst and it's still dry. That is pretty much the same thing with your hair and chronic dryness. If your hair is used to being dry, you're going to need to moisturize it a few times before it starts to soften and your texture starts to come out. Hydrated hair is flexible and strong and healthy. Number 2 is really important. Try protective styling. Protective styling bounds your hairs together, prevents you from over manipulating your hair. Just leaving your hair and not touching it, you can kind of let it sit and grow. So it's a lot harder for hairs to break when they're woven together versus if your hair is just out. It's kind of every strand for themselves versus if your hair is together, like I do like a chunky twist or something, it's really hard for hairs to break in there. So it's quite literally protecting my hair. Also, protective styles help retain moisture. When your hair is out, it dries a lot faster versus when it's in a protective style. Wherever your hairs are bound together, moisture is gonna sit in those cracks, and that's a good thing because it's holding on to moisture, preventing it from evaporating away, which will keep your hair moisturized for a longer period of time. So I'll put some of my favorite protective styles on the screen. I love mini twists, chunky twists, even mini braids, chunky braids, simple styles. It could even be like a loose bun, an up and tuck. It doesn't have to be something that takes forever to do. So if you haven't already and you're trying to grow your hair out but your hair is always out and you're at a growth plateau, try protective styling. That'll help with so many things. Okay, length retention tip number 3 is to tuck your ends. If your hair is shorter than your shoulders or not touching your shoulders, yeah, I got it easy. You guys don't have to worry about this. This tip is really for the girls that have shoulder length hair or their hair stops growing at their shoulders. I would say tuck your ends, because a lot of the times when people have a growth plateau or can't grow their hair longer than their shoulders, it's mainly because your ends are constantly rubbing up against your shirt, which is usually a bit too rough for your ends, which can cause them to split. And that happened to me for a very long time. My hair wouldn't grow past my shoulders for like 5-6 years until I started doing like twists, but putting them in an updo style. So I did like low buns, I did high buns, I did mid ponytails and things like that. And for that year, my hair finally grew past my shoulders, and I was like, what's going on? Oh, it's because I'm wearing my hair up all the time, and my hair is just able to grow without the disruption of my ends splitting. I noticed I did not need trims as often when I wore my hair up. Okay, tip number 4 is to avoid tight styles. Tight styles are not protective styles, okay? They're doing the exact opposite. They're damaging your hair and not protecting it. I'm gonna put some examples on the screen, and these styles are not good for your hair and not protective whatsoever. They cause tension on the scalp, which can cause damage to your scalp and pull out your hair from the root if they're too tight. And hair being pulled out from the root from a tight style can easily damage your follicle, and that's bad, because if a follicle experiences damage, it'll either not grow another hair out again, so your hair can get thinner over time, or the hair that grows out will become weaker, which is not great, because if you have a weaker strand of hair, it's probably going to be one of the first to break off and fall out anyways. And it's really hard for a follicle to be repaired once it's damaged, so you want to avoid tight styles which cause this kind of tension. And my tip number 5 for length retention: trim ends when necessary. For me and how I tend to treat my hair, I usually trim every 6 months or so, but if I'm wearing my hair out more or doing more elaborate styles that year, I'll notice maybe I need to get it trimmed every 4 months. If I'm doing a lot of protective styling and wearing my hair up, then maybe 7-8 months. So really just trim your hair when you feel like you need it, when you look and see if your ends are splitting, if they feel tough to the touch, if when you're detangling it's hard to detangle and your ends are snagging or tying up against each other, that's a good indication that you probably need to get a trim. I'm all for getting trims when it's time, not just because, oh, it's the 6-month mark, now let me get a trim. Like, no, assess your hair regularly and what your routine looks like, then you'll know how to go from there. If you don't trim them off, they tend to keep splitting up the shaft, and now the part of your hair that was healthy and not split can become split. And once the hair is split apart, like, you can't really do anything about that. You have to cut it off. So whenever you feel like you need a trim, definitely go for it. My tip number 6 for length retention is to use treatments on your hair. Treatments for your hair is just like treatments for your body, like a face mask here and there. If you have certain issues, to treat those, then it's the same thing for your hair. You can have a regular routine, but a little treatment here and there when you feel like your hair needs something is a really great idea to just maintain overall health. If you feel like it needs more moisture, no matter what products you use, try a deep conditioner. If you feel like your hair is a little mushy or stringy and it just is weak and breaks easily, I would suggest a protein mask. I actually just did a video not too long ago on my DIY protein masks at home. Only 3 ingredients, super affordable, super easy, and super effective. It's one of the only protein masks I do, so check that out if you feel like you need that. People also do like herbal teas and things like that, so you know, whenever you feel like you have like a hair care need and some products just aren't doing it, then definitely utilize treatments. Okay, and tip number 7, I'm excited to share this tip with you guys because it was a game changer for me and still is a game changer. Which is to learn how to properly detangle your hair. Some of us grow up with our moms doing our hair, or our aunties or a friend or whoever, and we're sitting as little girls getting our hair done and just like yanked, and you know, your leg is twitching because you know you're getting your hair pulled on a little bit. But when you become older and you learn how to care for your own hair, you don't need to continue those habits. You know, I'm very grateful my mom used to do my hair, but learn how to be gentle with your hair. Just like we learn to be gentle with our skin and not to prevent like premature aging and things like that, or you want to be gentle with your body and stuff. Your hair is a part of your body, and if you are ripping at it, your hair is not going to stay on your head. Properly detangling looks like being patient with your hair, because detangling for me takes a very long time, especially now that my hair is longer, and I learned that I need to be even more careful with my hair. I was having a growth plateau like around here, and I noticed it's because I have more hair on my head. It is taking more time. I do become more frustrated. I need to learn this is a process that takes a minute. Be gentle. And ever since I did that, my hair was able to grow longer because I wasn't ripping it out. I always say to treat your hair like the queen's lace. Whatever that means to you, let that hit you and do it. Those were the 7 tips that I had for length retention. Some of these were from TikTok that you guys really loved, and some of these were new ones that I haven't really talked about yet. I hope you guys like these tips and enjoy them. Check out my channel for other hair care videos or things of the such. Definitely like and subscribe if you like this video or want more things on hair health, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.